Yo, what is up, guys? So the day is finally here. Praise be Jesus. Mercy got nerfed, and I'm talking huge. All of those changes on the PTR came true, and apparently now Mercy mains are boycotting ranked. They're throwing games just to try to get her back to where she was. It's crazy. But first off, let's talk about the nerfs, and then we'll talk about the forum complainers, because it's a huge topic right now over in the forums. They released this patch, and literally the forums have been absolutely fire for absolutely hilarious posts and stuff, and the Mercy mains are super triggered. Alright, so first off, let me go ahead and go over the changes. I'll give you guys my thoughts on them, and then give you guys some suggestions for Mercy mains as far as, you know, what other heroes you could potentially play in the game, because a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh, I'll just play Mara, like easy, right? But let's go ahead and get into the changes first. So first off, the changes on the PTR went live. So to sum it up over here, there's two changes actually. One of them is a Junkrat, one of them is a Mercy. The Junkrat changes are pretty simple though. It really just comes down to the concussion mine now doesn't do max damage at all ranges. So basically, depending on where it explodes, it does less damage if it's further away from the center of the explosion, which I still think Junkrat is still a very viable hero in the game. He's not like, oh dude, he's completely useless. It's not like when Roadhog got nerfed, and believe me, dude, when Roadhog got nerfed, I was super upset where he was like, dude, it felt like he was unplayable, man. But so I understand some of the frustrations that you Mercy mains have, but Mercy right here, this is the main part that I want to talk about. She took a huge nerf to her ultimate form, which was when Mercy pops her ultimate, Valkyrie, it no longer makes Resurrect instant, so you still have to sit there and channel it. It doesn't give you the extra charge, so if you res and then you pop your ult, you don't get another one. And then on top of that, it no longer will give you a speed bonus of its original value. So basically it's reduced by 50%, as you guys can see via the little patch notes. And then the duration is reduced from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. Who decided 20 seconds was a good time? Anyways, yo, what was even more insane before is when her cooldown was on 10 seconds where she could instantly res. That was like so OP. Now, okay, as far as my thoughts on this, I think that they're great for the game. I'm really excited to play because you guys can see I'm duoing with the Mercy. Every time I duo with the Mercy, yo, dude, it's because I want a Mercy main on my team, because if you didn't have Mercy, it was straight up a loss, dude. It felt like the game was a thrown game if you didn't have a Mercy, and I'm really excited about this. However, people are going crazy over in the forums. You guys can go ahead and see for yourself from these changes again that I mentioned. And there's really no complaints about Junkrat. Everything is just talking about Mercy right now, but mass Mercy main throwers over here. So you guys can see they even had to lock this thread because people were like, dude, we calling out Mercies right here in this forum, boys. But anyways, what it really comes down to is basically people were saying, dude, I found 3 Mercy mains last game who threw for the same reason. This has to be stopped. They're throwing on purpose just to get attention to the Overwatch team, hoping Mercy will be fixed like it was before this patch. Broken and overpowered. Yo, my boy Madiro, I agree with you. And again, there's a lot of forum posts that are very similar. Please don't throw as Mercy mains. It's happening. People are starting to throw as Mercy, and it's apparently a huge problem. I'm gonna find out later tonight, but you know the thing is that I never got Mercy mains in my team. That's why I had to tell Mercies, yo, queue with me, I'll boost you, guarantee 100% easy wins. I'll carry you to GM, no problem. Even though, let's be honest, you needed a Mercy in the game. If you didn't have one, it was so difficult to win games. Like, it felt like once they valked, you just lost. If you didn't have Mercy, straight up lost. Alright, so, I agree with Time Mode. Like, here's my thoughts on Mercy. Okay, let me give you guys my thoughts. I think she needs a rework. I think Res should not belong in the game. She needs another ability. Even though it's on a 30-second cooldown, Res is still huge. That's basically every single team fight. You have a huge advantage on the opposing team if they don't have a Mercy. And it's still relevant. And especially since Mercy mains now are going to try to select something else, it might be very difficult for some of them to transfer over their skill. Because at one point, I played Genji and then Widow, and then I started picking up Roadhog. And then once Roadhog got nerfed, I had to pick another hero. Now, is this the case with Mercy? I don't think so. If you were a one-trick Mercy and you swap to something else, I guarantee your rank will be going down. Now, is it going to be going down, if you're a Masters, are you going to go down to Bronze? I don't think so, alright? It might be a few hundred SR, maybe a couple ranks if you play another hero. If you stick with Mercy, I think you'll be okay, honestly. I think that anywhere from, like, basically bronze to, I would say up until Masters, you still have, like, a really good chance at climbing with Mercy. She's still very valuable as a hero. But if you want to change, and the one problem is if you had 2 one-trick Mercies on the team, what would they lock in, right? A lot of times they would lock in heroes and they just couldn't perform. Like, like, a lot of times it was Moira, right? And I'll get into talking about Moira in a second because she might not be the best pick for you Mercy mains if you want to play another hero, because there's a lot of stuff that you guys might not know, and this is good, just like tips and tricks if you want to play Moira anyways. But first off, let's go ahead and put some heroes on the screen so I can talk a little bit about them. So this is not a tier list. I know it says tier list maker here, but it's just so there's characters on screen and I can talk a bit about them. So I know Moira's not on the screens because it's an older tier list maker. It doesn't have Moira, Doomfist, or Orisa. But anyways, what it really comes down to, again, Mercy mains are going to go, oh, okay, someone else is playing Mercy, or Mercy's so bad, I don't want to play her, now's my chance to stop playing Mercy. They're going to lock in Moira. Now, there's a real problem with Moira, because D.Va is so relevant in the game. You guys can see, I know it says S, and I put Zen and D.Va. I'm not saying that they're, this is not a tier list, but what I'm saying is that I just want to talk about these heroes. But they would be considered S tier. Alright, let's be honest. That's straight up a fact. Anyone that disagrees, I'm sorry, you're just wrong in the game. You're probably hard stuck in a rank that you can't get out of Kappa. But anyways, D.Va eats that orb. And what makes Moira so good is the orb. If Moira doesn't have that orb, she's not a good hero. I mean, that's the same thing with a lot of heroes, though. If a hero doesn't have a certain thing, like if Tracer didn't have recall, well, she would be not as good as other heroes. Let's be honest here. But anyways, so one problem is the orb is going to be eaten, and they don't know how to manage, oh, I say they, but Mercy mains probably don't know how to manage the orbs. But if you want to, by all means, if you're a Mercy main, go play Moira for like, 100 games and tell me what your rank is after. Did you drop? But the thing is that managing orbs is very important because you had to time a lot of things. And that goes the same thing with like Roadhog Hook in like Zarya Bubble. It's on like, 8 seconds, so you have to time certain integers to match up with other cooldowns that you memorize in your head by just knowing the times. And again, Mercy's just really didn't have to do this because it was either heal or damage, or I hit one button, I pick someone up. And anyways, that is a huge problem, but also D.Va eats the orb, so it's really hard to manage, not only just in general, but D.Va, her defense matrix, it's such a short cooldown, she can turn it on and off really fast and just go, eat the orb, okay, I'm good, right? But what are the other options? Let's go look at the other options for healer, because again, a lot of them are just going to lock in Moira. I just think that that's going to be the case. In fact, there's a complaint about this, that all Mercies are going Moira, and it's causing a problem in the game. But hopefully the new hero will be fixing some of these problems that we're talking about. But if they go Lucio, right? Because Lucio is a very, well, he used to be a lot more popular. He used to be like very popular to have like Lucio and Merces like before Ana. But the thing is that Zen is so, like, important right now, right? A lot of Mercy mains are not very vocal. Now, I do have top 500 friends that played Mercy and were vocal, and it helped out so much that they're like, oh, I got you, you're damage boosted, you can finish this person off. Because there's a lot of integers, like, for example, if Pharah is being damage boosted, she can one-shot a Tracer. And it's good to have that knowledge so you can position yourself, so you can just try to point blank the Tracer, right? Versus trying to, hit her twice by doing other things. It's just, it makes things much easier if people are vocal. And you guys gotta admit, if you guys have played competitive, a lot of times the Mercies just, they're not very vocal. And if they play Zen and they don't call out their Discords, it's a huge deal, because Zen calling out the Discord lets you target the person as soon as the Discord basically goes through, because there's a travel distance when Discord or is thrown out. So it basically lets you maximize the like priority as far as like the time goes, because by the time you say, I'm discording this target, everyone's going to be on point, they're going to actually target that player, right? But the thing is if someone else has to call up, the Discords, it's not as good. Like, you're wasting like an extra like second to 2 seconds because of reaction time, and if you call it out earlier, people can adjust what they're doing and then focus that target, right? But they also don't understand, oh, I say they, but again, Mercy mains, just because I have to agree with Taimu when he said that like Mercy mains don't deserve their rank if they only were a one-trick Mercy main, because there's so many mechanics that they don't understand, like prioritization of targets when they're discorded, managing cooldowns. For example, if Zarya just barriered, then you know that okay, we can just burst down the Zarya, versus oh, I'm going to discord Zarya and oh, she just throws up barrier, discord is gone, I have to wait. Like there's so many other integers that you like they just don't understand. I know this video is going to be heavily trash talking Mercies, but the thing is that like there's so many things that like they just didn't have to like learn in the game. But anyways, that's why I feel like Zen might be like a bad option for a Mercy main to go into. But if you want to learn these heroes, by all means, like I encourage Mercies to learn lots of other things. I encourage players to learn like everything. But the thing is that skills don't transfer over very well. Like again, going to Moira, her heal is a heal of her time, And it's not necessarily just like, oh, hold left mouse button until they're max HP. You can actually heal them up until they only need like basically 1 tick of health, or 1 more tick of like HP, right? But there are other integers with armor that I won't get into to complicate things. But the thing is that you can stop healing specifically at like basically when they're almost at full HP. This will make it so you don't use all your resource and you're able to be more effective because you can target and prioritize healing something else. Again, these are other things that a lot of people that would swap to Moira and they just wouldn't know. And then also, like, I see this all the time where people that play Mercy, again, when there's 2 Mercies, because like I said, I do it with a lot of Mercies, and that's how I climbed a lot. But the thing is that when you throw down the orb, a lot of them will just like throw it in a straight line and it's not going to be bouncing anywhere, and by the time it bounces it's like irrelevant, where they could have just curved the orb and just had it bounce and do more damage. And there's just so many things that like it's hard to transfer over the skill. And like I said, I feel you guys that are upset, because at one point I was a one-trick Roadhog. In fact, well, now I can play other heroes, but I stick with Hog anyways. But when Hog got nerfed, dude, my rank definitely tanked. It was at like 37 something when Hog got changed, and my rank tanked a couple 100 points, and I was salty, dude. Roadhog had one of the lowest win rates in the entire game, and obviously that's due to, of course, things getting changed, but they decided to change him, kind of, not necessarily back to where he was, but they gave him something else. And I felt like, why didn't Mercy get this, alright? I'm okay if they nerf Mercy, like, super, super hard. In fact, I still want Res removed from the game. I still think that they should change Mercy, because I don't like the res mechanic. If I get a sick pick as Widowmaker, I'm trick shotting, you know, by hooking up on the ledge, I scope in and get a sick shot on someone, and then Mercy comes from behind the corner, and you can't even shoot the Mercy, and she reses them. You're just like, dude, that unfair, unbalanced. Please nerf res. I understand the frustration, all right, because I used to main Widow, but anyways. That's what I'm really trying to get at, is you're going to have to learn another hero, and it's going to take some time. So perhaps if you're a Mercy main and you roll one-trick Mercy, it's maybe not the best to queue immediately into ranked. You're going to make people question your pick anyways. I don't think Mercy's a throw pick. Like, if I get a Mercy, I'm totally fine with it, honestly, on my team. Even now, after these changes, I still think she's good. 30-second cooldown for a res, still way, way, way strong and powerful. And until res gets completely removed from the game, I still think that she's a very viable hero. Now, if a Mercy main, let's say, was like Diamond, and she's playing any hero, I think it's like minimum 1 rank loss. But I don't know. I mean, maybe sometimes people can practice and they can get good. And like I said, I encourage that, because when there's 2 Mercy one-tricks, what do they swap to? Maybe Diva? Maybe Moira? But Diva's very good right now. But the thing is again, it's going to require you to learn, but just don't be scared. So many times when Mercy mains go to Diva, they're like scared to engage. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Especially at like high level. They just like are scared to engage. Like they don't just dive the Zen. Like they sit back, like they play an Orisa like with a shield in front of them, and they're just trying to like shoot them from so far away that they're doing 1 damage. And they're like, I have the Silveria limbs, and you're like, dude, like you're doing 1 damage to them as tank, and you're sitting super far back. Like they don't understand positioning. There's not a hero that's going to be like Mercy, though. That's the thing. There's not a hero I'm like, oh, you could easily, if you played this hero, you can transfer your skills as Mercy, because there's not a support that has a 1-second cooldown go to any other hero, and then also requires 0 aim and 0 like energy management. Because a lot of Mercies that go to Moira, they're just going to run out of energy. I guarantee this is going to happen. And they're going to try to right-click, and they're not going to prioritize the right targets. They're going to just ding-dong around. But again, I know I'm talking mad trash about Mercy mains, but dude, I understand the frustration. And you know, dude, when I was playing Hog, like, it was basically a throw, I'll be honest. When Hog was nerfed to that point, I was there, man. I basically just, I couldn't play Hog, so I had to swap to something else. But before I played Hog, I did technically play Genjis and Widows, and I got to Masters pretty much by 2 tricking those 2 heroes. So I was easily able to swap into something, but I understand, like, if you had one hero that you primarily played. Oh, look at that sick dodge. Oh, we're playing Junkrat right now. But as far as Junkrat changes, I think he's totally fine. Junkrat's not going to be like, yo, I'm complaining, I'm going to start boycotting and throwing my game so Blizzard knows that I'm upset. But if you're Mercy main, don't throw these games, man. I mean, I just want Mercy to be changed. I hope they do change her. Look at that triple 3-piece with a side. But anyways, those are my thoughts on Mercy. But as far as heroes that I can suggest for you guys to play, I honestly think it's going to be very difficult to get maximum value out of Lucio, but Lucio might be your best option for another healer. Again, Zen's going to be in every game anyways, because he's so, like, meta. But if there's not a Zen, dude, pick up Zen. He's a great healer. I know Zen would be considered a secondary healer, so if there's already a Zen, picking Lucio might be kind of difficult too, because you're just not going to have that amount of healing. As far as like main healers, Ana, Mercy, and Moira are the main ones, but D.Va is so relevant that without Orb, again, she just loses too much value for, in my personal opinion, to be considered very viable in the game. But if there's no D.Va, dude, go Moira, 100%, 100%. You'll be good. Just make sure you try to bounce the orbs, please. Like, just bounce the orbs on the side so they get more value. Because again, a lot of times it just don't happen. But Ana, good luck landing your stuff. You're just gonna get punished too hard. I think that if you were really good Ana, you would be a really great other hero anyway, so you wouldn't be worrying about this in the first place. But again, these are just my thoughts on the Mercy changes. I think that they're great. I think Mercy needs a rework though at the end of the day, because at least now she's not like a must pick or you're throwing the game. But apparently all those Mercy mains right now, they don't throw as Mercy mains. Like again, there's just so many. I could make a video just talking about all the memes now that are on the forums because of the Mercy main complainers. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and slap Reno on that like button. Let me know your thoughts on any of the things that we talked about in this video down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for more trash talking about Mercy mains. I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to do it again though.